Kyle, welcome to ProLifeCon. We're so glad you could join us.
Yeah, it's great to be here, or whatever you'd say when you're at a virtual conference.
Right. I have been a longtime fan of the Babylon Bee. I think the satire is absolutely hilarious and brilliant and ironic, and I'm always finding articles to share with my friends. Now, from what I understand, though the Bee is well known and loved as a trusted source of fake news, you all have had some very real brushes with your content getting censored on social media. Can you share with us some of those challenges that you've encountered lately?
Absolutely. I mean, ever since we've been running the Babylon Bee, we've run into censorship. Now, it comes in a lot of different forms. Sometimes it comes in more subtle ways, and sometimes it comes in a more blatant way. So when people talk about censorship, they always kind of say, well, censorship is just if the government were to violate your First Amendment rights. But what's happening now is we're seeing that big tech increasingly is on the side of big government, especially their leftist policies and their leftist beliefs about social issues. And government is kind of using big tech as a cudgel or as a proxy to censor a lot of content that they don't like. We saw it early on with the Babylon Bee when third-party fact-checking partners would fact-check Babylon Bee articles, and it was always rather humorous to us. We wrote the article that CNN purchases an industrial washing machine to spin the news, and that got fact-checked by Snopes.com, and which on the face is very funny, and it actually makes the article even funnier. Because now, if you Google CNN washing machine story, you get the Snopes article as the first result, and it says, "Did CNN actually purchase a giant washing machine to spin the news?"
No kidding.
Right, and so it sounds funny, but at the same time, it was kind of serious because they had a relationship with Facebook, where if you told a joke and they fact check it as false, all of a sudden your page would get demonetized, it would get deplatformed. All kinds of repercussions as you got more and more strikes on your page. So now, more recently, they've partnered with USA Today, and we've had more and more of our articles fact-checked by USA Today, and we're getting strikes from social media, and our content is getting squashed because our jokes are false or whatever you want to call it. We're suspended from Twitter briefly. We had CNN come after us. We had an ex-CIA agent telling everybody that the Babylon Bee was misinformation and fake news.
No way. Huh.
Yeah, and so it's very concerning to us when we see stuff like that. So yeah, censorship is real, and it doesn't always come in the form that you'd think, where the government just comes and says, "Oh, you can't say something we don't like."
No kidding. Okay, so y'all have already faced quite a few challenges. So what kinds of challenges do you foresee as the Bee continues to share maybe controversial content, specifically pro-life content?
Oh yeah, the culture warriors that are kind of controlling big tech and controlling these tools of censorship obviously don't like the pro-life message, and we've seen that. They have banned and suspended and temporarily taken down or even permanently taken down pro-life pages. So we've seen that on our end. When big tech can cancel the president of the United States, who can't they come after? Is the question we all need to be asking. And that's what's so scary about what they did leading up to the election, when they were censoring the Hunter Biden story, and then eventually just completely kicked the president off of Twitter. That's an insane level of censorship that we wouldn't have thought possible just a few years ago. And so now that we see that they are willing to use their tools of censorship and controlling all the platforms that we use to talk to each other, we know that they are willing to take down the president. They're willing to take down any pro-life message. They're definitely looking to start taking down us. Just today, Twitter announced that they're launching this program called Bird Watch now, where people can report your content for being a joke that could be misleading.
Wow.
So just
No
today,
kidding.
I mean, it seems specifically targeted at humor and satire. So that's coming. We're sure of it.
Man, that is crazy. So I know, as a follow-up to that, Our audience here at ProLifeCon is comprised of a lot of people who are passionate about sharing pro-life content and specifically just pro-life digital activism. What would you say to those who are hearing these things and they're feeling discouraged because they've seen in the news, they've seen the censorship happening, and they're hearing this and seeing how even a page as funny as the Babylon Bee could be experiencing censorship? I know a lot of these people are probably wondering if it is worth it to continue to publicly stand for life on social media if they're just going to be being silenced.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, if they don't want you sharing that message, I don't know. I'm kind of a contrarian by nature, and if they don't want me to share it, I'm like, screw it, I'm going to share it. That's me personally, and I hope a lot of people feel the same way, that we have to keep fighting. We can't be silenced and roll over, because just because all the worst people in the world don't want you to tell this very good message, to spread this very good message. I just look at the people who are pushing for censorship, and I know what they stand for, and I know the horrible atrocities that they want to cover up.
Right.
And I go, you know what? Screw you guys. Sorry, can I say that? For me, I just want, that makes me want to push back even harder when I see that. We do have alternative social media platforms that are opening up, stuff like Parler, but then even then we're seeing that they're willing to take down an entire social network, just to censor views they don't like. But yeah, I think we keep sharing the message. I don't think we back down. There's such a large portion of the country that does believe in the pro-life message, and I think we have to remember that we're not alone. And that's what they want to do, is isolate us. They want to lock us all in our houses and say, hey, you guys are all alone. You don't have anybody who believes what you do. The progressive movement of history is against you. You're on the wrong side of history. They want you to believe that message. And I think we need to keep sharing it, and we need to keep getting it out there.
Absolutely. Kyle, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. You had some really good things to say. So,
oh, cool. Thanks.
Really quick, I would love for you to tell our viewers where they can go to connect with you and with the Babylon Bee. Someone in my office told me that there are some sacred texts that they can purchase, or I also am aware that you have a podcast. Where can viewers connect with you?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, babylonbee.com is the very best place to get Babylon Bee content. You can look us up on Facebook and Twitter as long as we're still there. We've got lots of social platforms that we're on. Yeah, we have that book that you have. We just came back in stock, The Sacred Text of the Babylon Bee. It's like 2 years worth of Babylon Bee articles.
Amazing.
Laid out. You can also support us financially, babylonbee.com/plans. And that's one way that we were trying to fight back against tech censorship, is by getting direct support from subscribers.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Kyle.
Yeah, thanks a lot.